Get your old tackle out, get it out, sort it out. Get your old tackle out now. Get your old tackle out, find out what it's all about. Could be worth a fortune, wow. Rods and reels, floats and creels, Grandad would be proud. So, get your old tackle out, tell you what it's all about. Get your old tackle out now.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Chris Sandford. Welcome to Get Your Old Tackle Out number 2. Now, the first thing I must say is thank you very much for all your kind words and all your emails. It was great, wasn't it, Ollie?
Yeah, really nice.
I should also thank the person that sent Ollie this lovely present. Look at that, Ollie.
Oh, honey.
Yes, honey. And after the show, we're going to have some, aren't we?
Yeah, all of it.
My first question of the day is, do you like a bit of coarse fishing? And if you do you ever look down at your fixed spool reels and wonder how they got that way? Well, I hope I'm going to tell you. Okay, here we go. Up to the late 1800s, fishing was very simple. Whether you had a brass reel or a wooden reel, it was just a reel with some line on and a couple of handles. That was about it. There were some multipliers, but they weren't great because they were made by watchmakers and they couldn't stand the strain of a large pike or something like that. So this was what worked. You took a little bit of the line off to cast, and if you got a fish on, you played it like that and held it, whoa, and it spun round, and yeah, it was all good fun. I rather like fly fishing today, actually. And then everything changed. 1884, Peter Mallock up in Perth, he invented the wonderful Mallock Sidecaster. Look at that. The first ones were made of brass. They were really heavy, but this was an aluminium one. This is an aluminium one, I should say. And to cast, you simply turned the spool to the forward-facing position. What do you think? And then, once you got the line where you wanted, you turned it back again and you waited for the run, or you could wind in. Absolutely beautiful thing. Today, it's worth, I suppose, 80 to 120 pounds. They used to be more expensive, so if you're after one, give it a go. The one you won't find easily is the Mallock Multiplier. Look at that. Isn't that a magnificent thing? I'll just give it a wind for you to give you some idea of its magnificence. There we go. Oh, fantastic that is. And if you wanted to wind in the normal way, you put the handle to the ordinary position, which was there, and you wound in like that. Lovely. Fantastic reel. But that, if you can find one, will cost you £400 to £500. And if you could find one in its original box with its instructions, well, could be £1,000 easily, because they're very, very rare, the multiplying versions. Alrighty. Everything stayed about the same until 1905, when Alfred Holden Illingworth, who was in the textile business, he was watching the weaver's shuttle go backwards and forwards one day, and he thought, oh, I know, fishing reel. And this is it, the magnificent Illingworth number 1. Look at that. Look how that works. Whoa. Pretty good, eh? It was a huge success. It was vastly expensive, but it caused a huge row. The stuffy old colonels on the chalk stream said it was cheating, but Alfred said, no, it's not. And he made a statement in the press at the time. He said, I only use it to rid the stream of marauding and retrograde old trout. Yeah, right. I wonder how they sorted that out. Oh, do you think that's a marauding and retrograde old trout over there? The small one or the large one? Yeah, I said the large one. But he wasn't put off, Alfred. No. He went on to invent 4 more reels. There was the number 2 over here. That's worth about 150 to maybe 200. The number 3, they sold hundreds of those, so I'd say 90 to 120. Number 4, which is this one, this is the salmon spinning. It has an oscillating spool that goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like that. Yes. I must say, I've not had a good oscillation for ages. Did you get that, Ollie? There's a little joke there. Did you get that?
Yeah, hilarious.
Oh, so please yourself. And the last one, of course, was the number 5. This is quite rare. I saw one in an auction recently, reserved at £350 to £450. Quite rare. And why was it rare? Because it had a Bakelite body, and people kept dropping it, and so didn't get it repaired. So there's only a few around. Lovely reel. So that's all the Illingworth reels. Now you may be thinking to yourself, where are Hardy brothers in all this? Well, they were quite clever. They patented the full bail arm, and in 1931 they brought out the Hardy Altex with its full bail arm, and that really stormed the market. Lovely reel. You will notice it's got this strange shaped body. They called that the duck's foot. Why did they call it the duck's foot? It's a duck's arse. Come on, let's be fair. Other notable reels of the time, 1935, the Felton Crosswind. This is a great reel. It has a tilting spool, okay? And when you wind it, it spreads the line across itself so it doesn't bed in. Ah, marvellous. Okay. The other notable reel, which I guess is my favourite from the near past, and that is the Mitchell. Capano and Pons brought it over from France in 1948, I think. Yeah, 1948. Had a half bail arm. It was like a Swiss watch. It really was. Gorgeous, gorgeous reel. Look at that. Fantastic. And it is the reel, in fact, that Richard Walker caught the record carp on in 1952. And if you're interested in Richard Walker memorabilia, I shall be doing a whole piece about that in the next show. Lovely reel. Mitchell half bail. If you're interested in threadline reels, and if you want to start a collection of them, there's one thing you must do, and that is you must buy this book, Understanding Threadlines by John Stevenson. Sadly, it's out of print, but you can find it on the internet for, say, £30 to £40. Okay? Really good book. You must get it.
Oi,
What?
honey.
In a minute. Honestly. You may remember in the last show, we showed you a chunk out of my stuff series. Well, we're going to show you another chunk now, and this is all about angling gadgets that are making a fortune. Have a look. Vintage gadgets. I've got a few here. Some collectors like myself like a little bit of everything, but some collectors, either because they haven't got the room or they've heard the voice of doom say, you're not bringing that lot in here, just collect small things, okay? Well, I've got a few here. I bought most of them a long time ago, so I wasn't sure what they were worth, so I gave Neil Freeman at Angling Auctions a ring and John Stevenson for Mullock's Auctions, and I said, what is this lot worth? And they told me roughly what it's worth. And I've made notes, you see. Research. No expenses spared on stuff. The first thing we're going to look at is the Hardy Boomerang, 1908. And when it came up for sale in those days, it was 3 shillings and 6pence. On this end, you have the priest, which you knock the fish on the head with, like that. And underneath the carry handle, which is this chap, you have this strange arrangement. What were they for, you ask yourself? Well, if that is the fish's, imagine that's the fish's mouth. You put that in there, and then you put whichever spike was right for the size to hold the fish's mouth open, and you reached inside and you got your fly or your lure out. Devilish, isn't it? The other thing that you did was, if you put the carry handle back, with this bit of wire that hung down, you put it through the fish's gill cover, out of its mouth. Once it was dead, I hasten to add. You put it over this little hook here, and you had a perfect fish-carrying device. That's rather good, isn't it? Yes, today it's worth around £200, £250. I think I paid 80 quid for that. Quite a long time ago. Jolly good. Now, I love this. Alcock & Co., to name but 2. Twig cutter. What you did was you put this little spike here in the top ring of your rod. You undid the string so it hung all the way down the rod. I won't do that now. And you lifted the rod up and you put this little hook here, sharpened hook, over the twig, and then you pulled the string and you cut through the twig and your fly fell to the ground. Perfect. I don't know why we don't use them today. Alcock's, as I said, around 1915, 100, £125, something like that. Jolly nice little thing. Another way to release your tackle was with one of these. This one's rather nice because it has with it a thumb reel, okay? What you did was you put this over the line, once you're in the snag, of course, not before, and you couldn't get your fly or your lure out, you put it over the line, you closed it shut, and you gave this part to your man, Nigel, and you said, Nigel, go down there, and when you feel this part bump against my fly, give it a good pull and get it out and bring it back. There's a good lad. So off went Nigel, came back and gave him back his fly. He said, thank you, Nigel, have a biscuit, or words to that effect. Very nice, a tackle releaser. Lots of companies had them, worth about £100, £150 today. Now, a brass priest. What do you reckon? Brass priest, 40, 60 pounds. Unless, of course, it's got a name on it. Oh, it has. Hardy Brothers Annick. So that makes it 80 to 100 pounds. 80 to 100 pounds, is that all right? No, it's worth much more than that. Why? Well, because it's got a surprise within it. Oh, yes. Look at this. You could weigh your fish up to 20 pounds. Isn't that nice? Hardy Priest, 1908, and I think it only lasted a year, maybe more. In those days it cost 10 and 6. Today, 300, 400 pounds, roughly. Jolly good. I won't tell you what I paid for it. Now, the thumb magnifier. I like this. You put it on your thumb like that, you see, and you've got your fly, and you held it like that, and then you could make sure your fly was all right, it was dressed nicely, you did all the bits, anything you wanted to do with it. In fact, Ian, if you come around here, you can look through my magnifying glass and have a look at this fly. Look at that. That's nice, isn't it? Yes, a nice thing, as they say. Magnifier. Farlow's, this is 1928. Value today, I suppose 80 to 120 pounds. The fly, very recent. It's my Bullet fly. In fact, it's the Bullet Reborn, the Mayfly Emerger version. Okay. Now for something rather sinister. This is known as the Cook's Gaff. Cook's Gaff. 1891. It has here a trigger. Why would it have a trigger, we ask ourselves? Well, what you have to do with this is to prime the gaff. This is horrible, I warn you. You put that over the fish's head and then you press the trigger. Ooh. We don't use this sort of thing today, it's horrible, but it is a great collectible, and today I would say it's worth between £400 and £600, the Cook's Gaff. This cost me, I think, 220 if memory serves, but it was many, many, many years ago. Yes, it really was a long, long time ago, my word. Well, that's all we've got time for today.
Oi.
What? Oh, sorry, yes. Now then, here we are. Now, you can have it on a piece of bread, on a crumpet, or a piece of toast. What do you want?
A bloody great spoon.
Right. That's all we have time for, as I say. If you want to collect old tackle, you only have to remember one thing. It's still out there. You just got to find it. I'll see you next time. Spoon? Right, a spoon. I don't know if I've got a spoon. I'll find a spoon. Don't worry, I will find a spoon.
Get your own tackle out, find out what it's all about. Could be worth a fortune, wow. Rods and reels, floats and creels, Grandad would be proud. So, get your old tackle out, tell you what it's all about. Get your old tackle out now.
Yeah.